make it worse.
Make it worse so I can lap it.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, multicolor. Admiral Beckett Brass. One Grixis, legendary creature, 3/3. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who was dealt damage this turn by 3 or more pirates this turn.
Oddly specific.
If I hit you with 3 or more pirates on end step, I get
Then
to
I'll
steal
take
one
a
of your
non-land.
non-land permanents.
Wouldn't want to take a land. That'd be too powerful.
All right, I mean,
I this card's bizarre. I mean, if this card's good, I'll eat my hat, but not his. It's too big.
it's a large hat. It would take you all week. Um, yeah, I don't think it's constructible, and in limited 3-color pirate thing like might happen, but
I
seems
mean,
like it's just a
they're in
fun,
those
silly
colors.
card that'll work,
Yeah,
1 in 1,000 times.
it could have been. They could have made it better than what it is.
Yeah, they could have.
They really didn't do it right. It should have been 2 or more pirates. What was the problem
This is
with
gonna be like a
2?
pirate commander deck card.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
there's enough
maybe.
pirates for that, which I don't think there
It
are
costs
yet.
3, like shorthand, short deck mate or whatever.
Yeah.
The other pirates you control get ++1's like offensive. It should be like, you know, pirates and I don't know. I'm done talking about it. It makes me mad.
Belligerent Brontodon. 7 mana, 4/6. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So this makes that 1/7 kind of humorous, but
I like
outside
that
of
it's a
that,
4/6. Like what was 4/6 just because it's not a 0/6 and we know it, but it doesn't matter what that number is a lot of the time. It's just to dodge the Tarashi's violence, whatever they know the
yeah,
power removal spells. But how usually these are always 0/6 kind of spells like Doran and stuff.
yeah,
So it's funny that this is a 4/6.
yeah. It's bizarre they gave it a real power, but it makes sense. Whatever.
They had to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too expensive. Won't see play, but even it wouldn't see play even if it would be good. Just 'cause it's so expensive, I think.
Yep. Call to the feast. 2 dub B. Create 3/1/1 vampires with lifelink. Sure, if you're already this, and there's a couple of cards that really like you to go wide and to have tokens.
This borders on unplayable without synergy. The fact that
Yes.
it gives lifelink means that you can play it without much downside without synergy, but you want synergy to high pick this. This is not a high pick.
Yeah,
That's
agreed. Dead Eye Plunderers. 3 UB, 3/3. It gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control, so it's really, not a 3/3. And for 4 mana, you can create a treasure, which doesn't make any sense flavor wise.
yeah. If you take treasure from a ship and kill all its inhabitants, you kind of created it.
I, that's a really
I did this
violent
before, I
form
definitely
of
would.
creation.
It's expensive right off the gates, which sucks. But if you have, but yeah, I mean, it just seems like an okay card that I wouldn't want to play like unless I knew it was going to be good beforehand. So
Yeah,
it's like
if you're blue black and can spare another 5-drop, you'll play it.
it's a pack 3 pickup.
Yep. Direfleet Captain, BR22. Whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other attacking pirate.
Pretty
Well, if there's a
good.
pirate deck,
The fact that it's red black and uncommon is it's going to make like that colorless Eldrazi for 1 red 1 black that always tabled that was really good.
yeah.
This is like that card.
Yep. Gishath Sun's Avatar. 5 Naya. 7/6 Legendary Dinosaur Avatar. Trample Vidge Haste. Jesus Christ. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield.
Oh, what?
And the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
It has haste and trample.
Yeah. And Vidge.
You're going to see some dinosaurs with this.
Yeah.
8 mana is a lot, but it will win the game without much effort if you have a dinosaur theme and you
If
attack.
you're the big dinosaur deck, this is one of the best cards you can open. Otherwise, it's not good.
It's not Cloudhoof Behemoth, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's not Craven Behemoth, I mean, but it will do a similar like, oh, I have a top end and you better kill me before I can cast it.
Yeah. Hostage Taker. 2 UB for a 2/3 pirate. ETB, exile target artifact or creature until this leaves the battlefield, and you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you can spend your mana as any mana.
Wait, that card's insane.
Yeah, I love this card. This
It's a Faceless Butcher that you can cast if you have time.
Yeah, this is one of the few cards that I saw pop up in my feeds, my social media feeds, and I instantly fell in love.
Wow, it's got Stockholm Syndrome. It's commentary on Stockholm Syndrome, too. Like,
It really is.
because it's like, hey, like, look, we use the same mana, you know? Like, we use the same, like, we're the same person. Like, don't you see my cause? And, like, you can cast your own spell.
Join me, and together. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love this card.
People in the chat are freaking out because apparently it got a pre-release errata that it can't do itself, which makes sense.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, that's just silly. That's just bad thinking.
Yeah, they just missed a word.
Was it like the Envoy, how they always intended it to be that way, and they just messed up?
Yeah, I assume they just missed a word.
Well, if I was them, I would say that I messed up.
I don't know that they didn't.
Well, I don't know that they didn't either, but they've done the things.
I think the fact that they're errata-ing it before the set is out, like in the week between the spoiler being up and the set being out, they were like, oh shit, we need to fix this. I think that's admission enough for me.
Yeah, they're allowed an Oboro Envoy once every decade.
Yeah. But this card's sweet, and I love it.
Love it.
Haughty Warrior Poet, a 5-mana planeswalker with 3 loyalty. +2, gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Boo.
Whoa.
0, create a 3/3 dinosaur token with trample. Yay!
Oh.
And no ultimate, just a -X, and it deals damage divided as you choose. Oh, and creatures... Oh, it doesn't hit face, and creatures get faltered that get dealt damage.
Pretty lackluster.
Yeah. It feels like...
But I don't like it at 5.
It feels like Garrick Wildspeaker without the best ability.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that you can go like 3/3 every turn no matter what. It's nice that it's dinosaur-centric.
You just go 3/3 for a few turns and then falter them, is the idea.
The pyrotechnics is just not a big enough payoff. It's just not a big enough payoff. The -X kind of sucks.
Well, the plus is so bad that the -X is not a big enough payoff.
Yeah, I mean,
if
maybe
the plus was better...
I guess the way you'd play is like play it, kill a 2-toughness creature, and leave it so that it can live to untap, and then keep it alive the rest of the game is like the way that I imagine this being played. Or maybe make a 3/3 untap, kill some guys, and leave it alive. But the idea that we're gonna play this and like get life and then kill creatures,
I think
it's too much of a tightrope to walk.
No, I think the two play patterns described, the one described by you and the one described by me, are the two play patterns. I don't think that there's a realistic way that the play pattern is like comes into play, gains some life, next turn gains some life, next turn like wrath you. Like I don't think that that's a play pattern that we're going to see very often.
Not a play pattern. I agree.
All right, Marauding Looter, 1 UR, 4-mana, 4/3, pirate. Raid, at the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature this turn, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Sweet.
Yep.
If you're blue-red, you're gonna play it every time and be happy about it.
And blue-red needs cards like this too.
Yes.
They have a lot of cards that aren't good all the time, but are really good in the right spot. So having looting effects in blue-red are always nice.
And they have so many of them in this set.
Oh yeah.
Raging Swordtooth, 5-mana, 5/5 trample dino.
Best card I've ever seen.
Enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each other creature. So you knock off their X1s and enrage your enragers.
Yeah, this is the Vampire Punisher.
Yeah, this thing is sweet. It's uncommon too. Yeah, this thing is just busted.
I mean, it's yeah, man. I every time I see an uncommon 5/5 that's really good, I'm just glad it's not the one that put plus multiple counters and everything. So
yeah,
I'm like,
that
you guys,
thing was not fun.
That got out of design, you know. But this card is like just it's great and fair, and I love it when they can do that, and I can agree with it. Oh, it's just great. I love this card.
Yep.
Play it.
For sure. Regisaur Alpha, 5-mana, 4/4, rare. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. Sucks that this one doesn't. Oh, geez, but it makes a 3/3 haster.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 4/4 and a 3/3 for 5 mana. I mean,
a 3/3 haste.
I'm used to getting far less.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of reminds me of like Huntmaster
Yeah, I mean, this is Hunt Master, and for 1 more mana, you get a lot of bonus. But going from 4 to 5 is no joke.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't have too many 5 drops, this card is strictly awesome.
Yep. I dig it. Obviously busted and limited.
Yeah, clearly busted. Yeah, this might see playing constructed in a real way. I guess I forgot you were talking about constructed. I mean, I was just like, this would fill a hole in a weakened environment. Like
it's
if this
straight
set
up busted bomb status and limited. The question is whether ekes into constructed. I think it's close.
Reasonably close.
Shapers of Nature. 1 GU for a 3/3. 3 mana 3/3, pretty good, merfolk. 3G, put a ++1 counter on target creature. Or 2U, remove a ++1 counter from a creature, draw a card.
The only set with the Guild Mage, I guess. Only tribe with the Guild Mage.
Yeah, this is just great. It reminds me a lot of Simic Guild Mages.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's,
you're going to be ecstatic to play this in Limited and probably won't be supported enough for Constructed.
Try not to clap too loud when you table this.
Sky Terror. RW Flying Menace 2/2.
That's an enabler for red white dinosaurs. Loves this card.
Yeah. Gets raid forever.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it doesn't cost less because it's no colorless mana, but I think that's an upside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish it was 3 mana 3/3, but I'll take it as is.
No. Yeah, it's just super solid. Great role player as well as,
table
a good rate.
Red white is historically great cards that are 1 red 1 white, like Ride Down, table when they shouldn't, or rather they table because they kind of have to, and they're it's rewarding to go into this.
The table can only support 1 Boros Rafter, right? Is usually why that happens.
And it's super nice to know that they exist.
Yep. Tishana, Voice of Thunder, 7 mana Star, legendary merfolk. Power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card for each creature you control.
Little too dependent on board situation for me to care about this card, and costing 7 is offensive.
We've seen lots of cards like this, and this is one of the worst ones we've seen in recent years.
Even the best version of it, that like Zamorak or whatever, Zarek, the 2 green, 2 blue, and 2 merfolk.
Prime Speaker, Zagania.
Yeah, and this could cost 5 and I wouldn't play it. This card's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe at 5.
It first reminded me of the werewolf, the 5 mana werewolf that drew a card.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that one.
It's a star equal to your hands, and then if it flips, it's both hands.
It's like they tacked on blue and then made it draw cards for creatures like it's like a half Tomio or something. I don't like this card. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Vona Butcher of Megan is the legendary vampire. 5 mana 4/4 Vigilance Lifelink. Tap, pay 7. Destroy target non-land permanent. Activated only on your turn. Not quite a sorcery. You can activate it in combat, which is very useful.
Hi, Blood Baron.
Yeah.
Like this is the Blood Baron of the set, where if your deck needs this effect and you have what it takes, it's going to be great.
Yep. Yeah, this card is it doesn't have the protections, so it's going to be a little outside of constructible. But it might see some fringe play.
Yeah, I would say it's a non it's not unconsiderable in constructed, but it's certainly awesome in limited.
Yes, busted in limited for sure. And the last multicolor is Braska Relicseeker, 6 mana, 6 loyalty planeswalker, +2, get a 2/2 pirate with menace, -3, destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment, and get a treasure. Ultimate is -10, they go to 1.
This card's even at 6 mana. This card's not bad enough for me to be mad at it. This is okay.
Yeah, it's totally playable. I mean, it's not Elspeth.
It could be a constructed role player.
Yeah, it's not Elspeth, but it's not one of these total brick, huge, expensive planeswalkers. Like this thing can battle. Like it has that Karn ability where like you just play it and kill 2 things over 2 turns, or you play it and kill 1 thing and then they have nothing. You untap. They play some stuff. You untap and kill it with your spells while plussing this. Or you play it and instantly plus it twice and win the game 3 turns later.
I love this card. I mean, they're shitting on Soul Sisters again.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool play patterns with this, and they're all profitable and all realistic and all great. It's expensive, but it's good.
the decks like this can get to turn 6 or 6 mana consistently enough for this to be a factor. And there's formats that are just too fast for this, but this card will see play.
Yeah. All right, double facers.
First one's good.
Legion's Landing. Legendary enchantment for 1 mana for a white. ETB, get a vampire, 1/1 vampire with lifelink, as we've seen.
Imagine that there's like that Gideon, but without the cost to flip
Yeah.
it.
When you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform it. Oh, right, these are lands, right? They're about exploring.
Yeah. So this is, the cheap ones are more about the Farseek effect than the other effect.
Right, for sure. This becomes fucking castle. Not like Genzo Castle, the old one.
You're talking about Cauldron Outpost.
Yeah.
But the lifelink part of it's pretty cool. The fact that it's vampires is pretty cool. I mean, the fact that it creates a creature for 1 mana means it's not going to be the worst card ever made.
Right.
So it's like the downsides are pretty reasonable.
It's like you said, it's sort of like this Gideon type thing, except one of the 3 things that attacks to flip it doesn't have to be that thing.
Yeah, which is of course awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean the fact that it's an enchantment on the side lends a lot to itself in terms of like rebuying it with some easy way to do it, or like flicker a permanent, or like the fact that it doesn't die to a wrath. Like it has a lot of upside in terms of like becoming a land very certainly. And if you can flip this on turn, let's say on turn 3, then you have immediate access to 4 mana.
Yeah.
You can go 1-drop into 1-drop, 1-drop into Elspeth and Cube or something, but like that can translate to other formats in different forms. I like the card. It's interesting. I don't, how good it will be remains to be seen because it needs to have a very specific deck to be playable.
Yep. Search for Iskantha. 1U, legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card in your graveyard. And then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, transform it. So you're like kind of scrying for a while. Tap for blue or 2.
7 cards in your graveyard, super easy. So this is like a Farseek thing in Legacy and Modern. You can pretty reliably flip this on turn 2 or 3.
Oh, absolutely. You go like turn 1, Thought Scour myself, turn 2 this thing.
So there's a little blue Farseek stuff going on. And the card itself has the card advantage it provides is expensive, but it is real.
2U, tap, look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it into your hand. Wow. Rest on the bottom.
It's a real magic card. I mean, this is not Desolate Lighthouse,
Well, Desolate Lighthouse was busted.
Yeah, I mean...
And this is arguably better.
Right, except that, you don't get the split card aspect of it up front. So but luckily it's pretty easy to satisfy the condition.
Yeah.
So it's a Farseek with a clause.
And unless you're like on a mulligan hand or something, like scrying for 1 for your first 6 turns of the game is not nothing.
Yeah, like it's not the worst thing in the world. At the same time, I treat this like a Farseek with the drawback as its primary role. Like it almost does nothing.
Yeah. Arguel's Bloodfast, 1B legendary enchantment. 1B pay 2 life, draw a card. Already on board. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform it.
Yeah, this is
tap, sack a creature, gain life equal to its toughness.
This was made by people that used to pleasure themselves by rubbing Diamond Valleys all over themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Like people that used to just love Diamond Valley.
Like as somebody that won a Star City event with fucking, what was it, Gather the Townsfolk, the like, if you're about to die, then you just get some absurd ability. Like that's not a fun mechanic to play with. Like it's scary.
Right. Like this is just memories of old time for a very specific subset. And the card itself, like being a 5 or less life to then do Diamond Valley, it's like I don't even have to risk that,
No, I'm at like almost on board for drawing cards.
Yeah, the effect itself is
like the Necro ability appeases me my desire to want to play this way more than the fucking Diamond Valley.
Interesting to know that the May ability is not universal. On the white one, it's not a May. On the blue and black one, it is a May to transform.
Oh, interesting.
And I wish the black one
because the white one does nothing else if you don't transform it. The other 2 have abilities that you might prefer.
Oh, sure. So maybe that's the cutoff for it. So there's some rhyme and reason to it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I wish it wasn't beginning of upkeep. I wish it was just when you're at less than 5 life. like you can
Yeah.
choose to flip it at any time. Like
That
because
is totally
come on,
doable
that's
within the
what
rules. I don't know why they wouldn't.
it needs to be that way.
Yeah.
Upsets me.
Vance's Blasting Cannons. 3R legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile top card of your library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it this turn.
Okay.
When you cast your third spell in a turn, transform it. Alright, so it's like a bad
Outpost
outpost
upside. Yeah.
that transforms into... Jesus.
You will win the game immediately.
Jesus!
You will win the game quick. It's kind of overkill with Rumap Red's ability to do kind of the same thing as it is, but who cares? It's great.
Yeah, this
it just
flippability
costs
is
4
nuts.
on the first turn. It costs 4, so there's that. But if you go like turn 4 this and then 2 more spells, and you can do that without like hurting too bad to do it, then like this is a pretty fucking good card.
Yeah, that's awesome. Growing
Creature
rights...
or player.
Huh?
Creature or player. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. Growing Rights of Itlamok, 2G legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform it. And it's Gaia's Cradle, right? Except it taps for green always.
Right.
Meh. There's not that much stuff to do with a ton of mana, and it's like kind of hard to flip, and it's kind of win more if you flip it. Like, there's not much going on here. This is the worst
one on the flip side. Like you're not as relieved to get the flip side version of this as the other ones. The other ones are like, oh, finally it's here.
Right.
But this one's like I don't even need the mana anymore, really.
Yeah, you just played this like bad sifter card to find a creature, and then happened to get Gaia's Cradle later.
And it's not. Oh man, it's not a May. So this has a legitimate disability.
What do you mean?
Well, in that like when it comes to the battlefield, you do this thing, right? But like, I guess it's not disability because I guess the worst is over. So never mind. I'm wrong.
Conqueror's Galleon, 4 mana, 2/10. Whoops, 2/10 vehicle with crew 4. When it attacks, exile it at the end of combat, then return it transformed. Well, it's gonna survive combat. Jesus.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right.
Tap for a colorless. 2 tap it, draw a card, discard a card. 4 tap it, draw a card. 6 tap it, return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
This card kind of sucks.
It reminds me of like a bad what's the 5 mana
Trading
enchantment that just has a million abilities?
I don't know, but reminds me of Trading Post.
Yeah, or Trading Post.
But the enchantment one I'm trying to think of.
It's it's an artifact. Staff of Domination, thank you.
Ah, yes. That's right.
Dousing Dagger, 2 mana equipment. Enters the battlefield, they get O2 plants. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may transform it. Okay, so it just makes it harder to get through the forest. Lost Veil, it's just Lotus.
Flavor, that's some flavor.
Just Gilded Lotus.
Very cool flavor there. Or Lotus Veil, so the veil in the name kind of like goes that way.
Yeah.
Lotus Veil was the land that did that. But, it's interesting. It's one of the few cards in Magic that is cheap and also gives your opponents creatures, and there's very important reasons to want to do that with an equipment. Like, Forbidden Orchard is like the best of all of these. But people have ended up playing things like Hunted Phantasm when it was important to give the opponent creatures for some other reason.
Yeah.
So it's good to keep in mind for, like, building purposes, for, like, people that, like, love to have, like, exception cases or, like, the very few circumstances. This can force your opponent to have things that they would not make themselves, and you can use them as such, so it's interesting.
Yeah. It's also just, like, if you just have a flying man, you just get a Lotus on 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fly over the forest, you see the veil, it's like cheating.
Yeah. Primal Amulet, 4 mana artifact. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That's a fucking scary ability. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Then if there are 4 or more charge counters on it, you may remove those counters and transform it. Land, tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell and choose new targets.
That's cool. It's a little expensive to get going, but it's nice.
Yeah, I dig it. Thaumatic?
I think it's just out of range of all the decks that want to play it, though.
Yeah, it's like close, but probably not enough.
I'd rather play like Pyromancer's Goggles if I was trying to go there.
Yeah. Thaumatic Compass, 2 mana artifact. Pay 3, tap it, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hands, then shuffle your library. That's just Kite. That was a card. That was a very highly playable, constructed card.
It was good. It was good in the early Harvest Mirror. Really good.
Yeah, and all the gifts mirrors and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was on board with that really quick. And this card's like not man. The flip card side of this card is interesting.
All right, if you have at the beginning of your end step, if you have 7 or more lands, transform it.
Not a May.
Not a May. Taps for colorless, or untap target attacking creature an opponent controls and remove it from combat. So it's maze.
Yeah, it's maze.
Almost, because you can't maze your own guy.
You can't maze your own guy, and it also removes from combat, which the other maze didn't do. It just made it not do damage.
Right.
So like afflict and all that other stuff would still do. If it was lose life instead of damage, or guilt feeder or whatever else.
Yeah.
Or like those if they're not blocked, you can do damage, whatever. Like, so this is better in that regard. But I think that the actual ability itself it's kind of sad that it forces a flip, because a lot of the value
I just want Journeyer's Kite.
Turn 5, 15. Journeyer's Kite is better in a way, but also paying 2 mana for a maze on turn 7 is also insane.
Yeah.
Like, just going 2 mana maze go, like, is ridiculous. Like, it taps for mana too, so it's on turn 7 you just get 2 mana for a Farseek and kills their creature forever, and after a Wrath you have I think this card's major awesome part to it is being an early game card advantage engine specifically, but on turn 7 playing a 2 mana removal spell is it's better than that.
Yeah, it's legit.
I love the card.
The card's good. I mean, the format has to slow down for it, obviously, but it's theoretically good.
I think in limited it remains to be seen. I don't think you're gonna have mana floating around.
Oops.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Journeyer's Kite was obviously better in constructed than it was in limited, so. But Maze is great in both.
Mm-hmm.
Treasure Map, 2 mana, artifact, 1 tap, scry 1, put a landmark counter on it. If there are 3 or more landmark counters on it, remove those counters, transform Treasure Map, and you get 3 treasures. Sack a treasure, draw a card. No cost. Just tap, sack the treasure, draw a card. Or tap for a mana. This card's fucking scary.
Right?
So I played on turn 2, activated on turn 3, 4, and 5.
Alternatively, play on turn 3, activate, and then turn 4 and 5.
Sure,
so
it's still the same speed, though.
You get your 2 drop.
Right. I mean, it's the same speed, though, right? It goes on 5 no matter
what. I just mean like you can control your destiny in terms of defending yourself.
This card's probably fucking good.
It would be unwise to overlook it, certainly.
It doesn't stack well.
Yeah. Although, yeah.
I fucking like that card, though. All right, land.
I'm not excited about it, but it is.
Artifact. That was double-faced. Artifacts next.
Cobbled wings, of course.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
These cobbled wings.
Dusk Legion Dreadnought, 5 mana, 4/6, Vigilance, Crew 2. Whatever. Elaborate Fire Cannon, 2 mana artifact, doesn't untap during your untap step.
A lot of asking a lot here.
4 mana, tap it, shock something. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can discard a card if you do untap it.
Oh, this card's good.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play this card for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you play on turn 2 and then on turn 4, you get you can kill creatures and then you can discard a card to kill a creature for the rest of the game. I think this card's going to be pretty good in most decks that want it.
Yes, in limited.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Harvest Time saying it feels like an Ice Age reprint for sure. This feels like a card from a different era.
Elaborate Ice Cauldron.
Yeah. Fell Flagship, a 3 mana 3/3. Pirates you control get +1/+0. Not even when it's active, right? That's just always.
Yeah, they're inspired by it.
Crew 3. Whenever Fell Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. This thing's pretty fucking good.
Crew 3 is pretty oppressive,
It's
but
steep.
the +1/+0 means that it's Crew 2 for Pirates.
Ooh, look at you. Look at you. Yeah, I like that card. I mean, we're so spoiled by Smuggler's Copter that like no vehicle looks good, you know?
Right. Yeah, but I've also played with Spectre's Shroud, and it looks better on paper than it is in play. That's not to say that it's not good in play, but it's just not as good as it looks.
Yeah.
Your mileage may vary. Like opponents generally have 1 to 2 cards that will never impact the game. So you have to make sure you hit the 3rd plus card when you're discarding to truly devastate them. The first card never has an impact almost.
Right.
That's why Ravenous Press never sees play.
Yeah, except for the decks that have like 14 of them.
Exactly.
Gilded Sentinel, Hill Giant.
All right.
Yeah. It reminds me of Transguild Courier, or whatever that card was. It's just exactly this card, but it's every color.
Yeah, and for good reason. I think that I wish it interacted more. Like cards like this, I like more when they interact with the themes of the set. So I wish it was an artifact creature treasure or something.
Yeah, something to give it use.
Or make it a hilarious card, a joke card, and make it a pirate, a golem pirate, and be funny with the card.
Like Stonework Puma was an ally for no reason.
So I'm wondering, come on, you could do something with this. Make it a golem vampire, or I don't know, anything.
Well, that's what the courier was. It was just a hill giant, but every 10 games, its color will come up. All right, Hierophant's Chalice, 3 mana artifact, ETB drain for 1, and then tap make a mana. Probably not something you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it doesn't do what it. Yeah, we can just go right past this.
Yeah, I don't see anything. It's just a bad mana rock.
Yeah.
If you're. Yeah, no.
This is not Pristine Talisman, and that card was hard to play.
Yes. Pillar of Origins, 2 mana artifact. ETB, choose a creature type. Tap, add 1 mana. Play. Only cast a spell with that creature type. Yeah, this is a mana rock. You could play this one.
If you have a majority 4-drop plus are all of a specific creature type in your deck, the dinosaur deck could table this and play it.
Yeah.
Just know what it is, because it's you better be able to cast more than 10 cards in your deck with it. Otherwise, it's terrible.
Yep. And if you have a bunch of mana creatures, you probably don't want to play it anyway. But if you're short on mana creatures and have a bunch of 4 and 5 drop dinos, then yeah, go for it.
This reminds me of Pentad Prism, where use at your own risk, but it's not.
Probably a little better than Pentad Prism in limited and way worse in constructed.
Yeah.
Pirate's Cutlass, 3 mana equipment with equip 2. ETB, you can attach it to a pirate, +2/+1.
If this was 2 and 2, we could talk. At 3 mana, we'll still play.
Or even 2 and 3, and you would just always put it in pirate mode.
Yeah, I think that equipment is kind of sparse, and maybe because they're pirates, you need equipment to make good on all the card advantage. So I'm not making this unplayable, but I think it's.
No, I think it's playable. I mean, because there's so many 2/2s that draw a card, or 1/2 flyer, the 1/2 flyer that explores. You'll have a bunch of 1 power flyers that this is just great on, or you need to trade up against real creatures with your shitty pirates.
In the pirate deck, it's almost Grafted War Gear, just a little bit worse. So you're going to want this card in the pirate deck specifically because those are the cards you want to pump in the first place.
Yeah.
In the vampire deck, you have lifelink, so there's that to consider. But the dinosaur deck wouldn't want this. This card's not universally playable.
No, it's 90% pirate, 10% vampire. Something
this is something where the ability matters. It's not like remember Obsidian War Axe, so everybody could play that card if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. This is not that.
Correct. Prying Blade, 1 mana equipment, equip 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, get a treasure. Meh.
Yeah.
You better know what you're doing.
You better know what you're doing.
Sentinel Totem. 1 mana artifact. ETB Scry 1. Tap, exile all cards from all graveyards. No thank you. We're not going to need this much graveyard hate in standard, unlikely.
Relic of Vagitus, it spoiled all of us.
And it's just, Relic is just fucking stupid. And Nile Spellbomb, are you kidding me?
We'll never get it back.
No. We don't deserve it.
We didn't earn it.
No.
And now we live with
we did
the
nothing
knowledge.
for it.
that we'll have to live without it.
Yep. Shadowed Caravel. 2 mana, 2/2, crew 2. Whenever a creature you control explores, you put a ++1 counter on it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a crew 2 mana, 3/3, a pretty large amount of the time.
Yep. Sleek Schooner. 3 mana, 4/3, crew 1. Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I feel like all these vehicles should have island walk, but you know, who am I to judge?
Yeah. It's weird that they're boats. Just in general.
Can't block flyers at the lead.
Yeah. Sorceress Spyglass. 2 mana artifact. Greg, did you freeze? I think Greg froze. Four three is good with the 1/1s that have the huge activated abilities. Oh yeah. The shitty invokers. Yeah, and there's like a bunch of like random tokens and like 1-power things that explore that'll just be, you know, chilling around. After that, let me close that so I can hang up on him and recall him. Greg wants to chat in Hangouts. I don't know what's happening. Maybe nothing? So close to being done, too. Whatever. I'll wait for him to call me. Spyglass. 2 mana. ETB, look at opponent's hand and choose any card name. Activate abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So it's a pithing needle for 1 more, but you get to peek them. It's alright. It gets to replace needle in like cubes and stuff. But I think if you're playing a card like this, you already know what you're naming. And Vanquisher's Banner. 5 mana. Choose a creature type. They all get +1/+1. And whenever you cast one of that type, draw a card. Another like Timmy, Johnny build around that's probably not constructible. Unless there are some tribal decks that need this effect. Like tribal decks that already exist that need this effect, but seems unlikely. And land. I think there's only a few, so I'll just finish this off myself. Yeah, I've seen Needle in a lot of cubes. Field of Ruin. Taps for a colorless. Pay 2, tap it, sacrifice. Destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. Each player searches his or her library for a basic land card and puts it onto the battlefield and shuffles his or her library. This is just more like Ghost Quarter stuff for those Lean and Arbiter, even Mind Sensor, like Hate Bear decks. You could theoretically do some stuff with like Boom Bust, but that would cost 5 mana. So yeah, I don't know about that. I come back to the Buddy Lands. Unclaimed Territory. Name a creature type. Taps for a colorless. Or for a color for that creature. Oh, hello.
I'm using my phone.
Okay, good, because we're like almost done.
Yeah.
Field of Ruin, what do you think? The weird like Ghost Quarter thing.
I think it's the most fair version of that card I've ever seen.
Yes. Agreed.
It's fine. Totally what I want it to be. It's not tectonic edge, it's not oppressive, it's just totally reasonable.
Yep.
It deals with the cards that are problems in non-basic land without being oppressive to like port or wasteland.
Yep. Agreed. Unclaimed territory was the thing you were talking about earlier.
It's great.
Unknown shores we've seen before. It's not good.
I've used it before as a proxy for the shrine to Nyx.
Sure. Its best use is as a Nykthos proxy.
I've Sorcerer's Spyglass was the one I missed just when I cut out, and that's like my favorite card in the set.
Okay, I'll go back to it then. All right, the pithing needle card. What do you think?
Yeah, it's Pithing Needle that can hit fetch lands if they're being too, if they're holding them,
Yeah, but that's already true for pithing needles.
No, but I mean, now you can know for sure. Like, let's say you go turn 2 and they're holding 2 Misty Rainforest. Like, it'll make sure people buy fetch lands in spreads.
Sure. We said that about pithing needle, and we said that about like surgical extraction, and it never happened.
But this is different on a large scale in that you're playing it anyway in a lot of cases, just like Pithing Needle was seeing play regardless, But,
sure.
Like, this gets to it. You don't have to guess that anymore if it's gonna paralyze them. Now it's like if they were just holding 2 blue deltas because they were just playing cards for whatever reason with no thought of downside. This teaches them a very valuable and expensive lesson.
Yeah, and then if you can't cheese them out, then you just name the card you wanted to name anyway.
Right, and if you're trying to name between 2 planeswalkers, which is why you're boarding it in, because there's so many planeswalkers that you're trying to play against, and like it's a planeswalker heavy deck, so you're boarding Pithing Needle. Except it's this. Now you can name the right one.
Yeah.
I think this is just a very exciting variant on Pithing.
I never thought about that. Like since planeswalkers have taken over, we haven't really gotten a needle effect like this.
It's the first time in a while.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that. All right, Vanquisher's Banner is just like a casual tribal card.
Yeah, and it's not. I wish it cost less than 5.
Well, if it costs less than 5, it might be playable.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's. I've talked enough about that. Then okay.
We talked about the one lands. We talked about all the lands. Okay, the only thing that's left is the buddy lands.
Yeah, and the and the basic art on the.
The basic land art, yeah, that's important to talk about.
Yeah, I like the tick how you say that one, Aztec City tick the
Yeah.
On the plains.
I like the really colorful arts, the big landscapes. Like a theme of some of the basics are like Jace is just wandering around lost. It's kind of funny, but the arts aren't as good.
Yeah. It's not generic enough, but I do like Jace Confused.
Yeah.
Which would be a good planeswalker name.
Jace Confused. Jace Bamboozled.
Baffled.
Yeah. All right, and Buddy Lands, I mean, what's there to say? We've played with them before. They're format defining. They're absolutely make what decks can exist, and they're very, very good in those decks.
Yeah, and as usual, we'll see 3 of them will see play, and the other 2 will not see play.
Yep. And it's up up to the metagame to see which ones they are this time.
Yeah, so buy indexes if you buy if you're speccing.
Yeah. All right, that's it.
Yeah, overall pretty excited about the set. I like that it's not overtly oppressive. Outside the 1 green fight spell that gives ++ a counter, that card just pisses me off. It's way too good.
The dinosaur fight card is the oppressive card that you're picking out.
Which I'm fine with that being the oppressive card. And I like that the merfolk are good because me.
You like that the merfolk are good.
Yeah, there's 2 more adepts. I mean, yes,
yeah. Bonus adepts with explore is definitely nice.
Cool. Well, I don't know if the stream can still hear me or not, but
barely.
But, yeah, I have no internet access for whatever reason. I have no idea what happened.
All right. Well, he said goodbye to the nice people.
Thank you.
All right, I gotta close it down because I got a bus to catch.
Good luck, man.
All right, see ya.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's that. Thank you all very much. It was fun. It was like 5 hours on the nose, just about, which is great because we were gonna power through these because I gotta fucking go. So yeah, no stream tomorrow because I'm gonna be out of town, but then I'll be back either Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I'll stream again like Thursday or Friday. I'll stream again this week, but it won't be tomorrow. Yep. You are all extremely welcome. Thanks for hanging out. I always forget where my outro page is on this OBS. Bang. Thanks, everybody. I guess I'll try and get this to... No, I'll get it to YouTube, like, when I get back. So, if you missed it, you can watch it, the VOD, on Twitch. But, I'll edit, cut it up and put it on YouTube in a few days. Good night, everybody.